Am I looking good?
I want to be in the middle.
Oh, shit. Are we sorted now? In the right frame? Let's start.
Buyers are right now very hesitant when it comes to the market. Why would you say that is?
I think right now in the market, because of the situation while it's ongoing, it's a bit uncertain. It really depends, of course, on the buyer's portfolio because there's also a lot of opportunity. Being a first-time buyer can be a bit scary because you don't know where you're investing in. Having a big investor portfolio beforehand, of course, gives a lot of opportunity as well. Having good deals, distressed deals, so of course you can see both sides, I would say.
So this got deep too quickly, yeah?
Yeah,
Good conversation. Yeah, absolutely. I think just to add on to your point, I think the market in itself, it's not the hesitation about the opportunity in the market. It's actually the hesitation about the time clarity, right? People want that specific clarity, but the funny thing is that the clarity comes after the opportunity is already gone. So it's a yeah,
waiting too long.
it's a very specific situation. Let's see how that pans out.
So do the introduction.
Absolutely. We'll start with the
Great. Oh,
perfect.
well, hey everyone. I'm Donya. I'm a hypnotherapist, and this is mindset coaching here at Lavinia Properties.
Brilliant. My name is Usman. I think I am a digital entrepreneur as a first thing. I'm a systems thinker. That's something that I've been doing for a lot of businesses for last 10, 12 years or something. And here I'm the global group head for Lavinia Properties.
Hey everyone, my name is Fynn. I'm working for Ayat Development on the developer sales side. Been up here for 3.5 years and mainly working for sales in the real estate market.
Very happy to have you.
Yeah, just thanks for joining us today. So, what would you say? Do you think people regret more waiting to buy, or did they regret more when it comes to buying early?
I think it really depends because there are a lot of different scenarios. You can make a mistake by buying too early in something which doesn't make sense in the first place because you don't see the vision. As well as I believe more it is on the side that you buy too late. You miss the opportunity, you think you can wait, and then you miss out on something which is actually a great opportunity in the first place.
Yeah, that could have been a good return.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially, for example, in upcoming areas like Dubai Island and other key areas, you see how quickly the price is going up in the market.
Absolutely.
And once you see the opportunity, sometimes it's already too late. And then you pay the premium. That's how
the market then shift towards it. So what kind of ROI expectation is a bit unrealistic?
I think some agents are right now over-promising a little bit to their clients. So something like beforehand that they have 9, 10, 11% ROI is a bit unrealistic. I mean, you do have opportunities as well, depending on the areas. But when you go to main areas like downtown, Marina, you will not see that type of ROI. You will look more into maybe 3 to 5%. When you look at other areas, there is opportunity. But especially in today's market right now, with the ongoing situation, it is a bit hard to achieve these high ROIs.
Just for the new people who might be joining us, for the first time buyers or something, can we, from a salesperson's point of view, can you explain a bit about what an ROI is actually?
So ROI, I mean, of course, it is return of investment. So we're looking at the actual rent which you can get based on the investment. Let's say you invest 1 million dirham, 100,000 is the rent per year, you would have a 10% ROI, but not the net ROI. So that's something very important. You of course have as a special costs, you have service charge which you're paying, but this is around the ROI you can get the rent per year.
Perfect.
What mistakes would you say you see buyers repetitively do in the market?
I think it's a bit sometimes the lack of knowledge. Buyers who are listening to the trends but not really understand where to buy. They look at the process for often, let's say, developers. Everything looks good on paper, but does it really make sense when you look at the numbers? Absolutely. So sometimes they're buying in a hype without seeing the reality. A common mistake which you see here.
I think Dubai in general is such a hype city as well.
Course, yeah.
So it's a bit hard to keep track of everything and not get lost with all the fantasy stuff.
Correct.
A lot of the things do get drained out in the noise. So it's very specific, from the customer's point of view and customer mindset that they have to understand what they're doing, and where they're moving forward, why they're moving forward and everything. And I think that's where the sort of like the best brokerage agencies as well as the, best sort of businesses, best sort of developers sort of do their game as well, because they're providing that clarity that isn't available in the market.
So, what would you say has the market taught you personally in your journey?
I mean, the market taught me personally since I'm here that yes, Dubai has a lot of opportunity when it comes to having good ROIs compared to, for example, the German market. You have good ROIs, you have good capital gain, but as well you have to be very careful where you put your money. As well, you should not just trust. I mean, a lot of agents are working just focusing on what is their commission. So it's very important in who you trust and in which developments you're going to invest, because you have good opportunities as well you have to risk. So that is really important, I would say. Within the last 3 years, what I saw mostly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's also talk a bit about what your development house is actually doing. What are the projects you guys are working on? What is in focus right now for Ayat? And what are you projecting for your customers right now?
Yeah, sure. So I would start first of all with Ayat as such, because it is very important to understand the background. And as an investor and buyer, you will always ask first time your agent, okay, what is the developer doing? To understand, okay, how is the quality going to be? Are they over-promising, especially in the off-plan sector, as well as are they going to deliver on time? So as Ayat, we are part of Ayat Group, to make it a bit easy to understand. We are a local developer from Abu Dhabi. Correct. So there are 4, I would say, main key figures which are important to understand. Now, the first thing is that we have our own construction team. Construction-wise, we are almost 20 years in the market, focusing on constructing for the UAE government. So what we are doing is we do a lot of infrastructure work, military projects, as well projects only for immigrants. That is a very strong point. Now, coming to the second point, what is very important as well is that we have our in-house factories. When you work on such a massive scale, having like 2.4 billion worth of ongoing projects, you need specific things in-house. In-house factories, in-house team, of course, for construction. So what we are offering is we have cement, concrete, and steel as well, combined house in Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. So this is important to know, because when you come to the actual construction part, you are not relying only on third parties. The price can be lower than, let's say, some other people offering it from third parties, as well as construction timers can be managed easily. Here was something important about Ayat now. Now, 2 more things which you should know as well is that we have our own property management team. So besides the construction part, you manage full buildings. We have around 30, 35 buildings, which we are managing with, of course, gives us the cash flow to construct. So even during difficult times like now, we are not relying just on the sales of the development. We have multiple businesses involved to be stable in the market. And I think it's very important where to position yourself.
That makes you independent as well, in a much more bigger capacity. Just brilliant. Yeah, tell me a bit about specific projects as well that you guys are currently focused on.
Now, development part, I mean, we came with our first project as a developer once we start selling in Dubai Island. It was last February. This is where we came up with a project in Island A, whoever knows Dubai Island. We were direct on the waterfront. This is something which was standing out. Why? Because out of the island, we had 1 of 10, 11 plots which were directly on the first row. And as you know, first row is always something limited. A critique, which will stand out.
Goes out, that is at the top here.
I would say our key projects where we came up in the market. Once it is fully developed, then people will start realizing, okay, who is Ayat? This is the development they are doing. Okay, we look into it. This is something very important.
Brilliant. But what's the name of this project in Dubai Island? Actually,
This one is called IMO.
Yeah,
Residence in Dubai Island.
yeah, brilliant. And what do you think? Is it more sort of like Dubai Island in general right now? Because a lot of customers actually do ask this a lot as well. And to be very honest, even our own floor is kind of like divided on this. But do you think it's more user end right now, or investor focused right now, Dubai Island in general, and then specifically your own project as well?
I think it depends, of course, on what project you're investing, but it's fantastic for both. Why? Because and gives a perspective. In the future, we have everything right there. You have your mall upcoming, you have the promenade, the marina, the golf courses. So it is a great living as such. Similar like other areas in Dubai, here is great for end users as well. Correct. Investment point of view, it really depends now on what you're choosing. I mean, if you choose something which is in the central island, it really depends on what kind of price you buy, because there's a lot of competition in the market. That is something very different to choose. Having something on the first row on Island A or Island B, for example, it can stand out. If you have a low price you're buying in, the area will appreciate, of course, and after time you have to cut it again. So this is the most important part. You look basically affect figures and you make it assurance.
Absolutely. And just one more thing. How much time frame are we looking for generally in Dubai Islands right now, from like this off-plan stage to coming up as a ready community for people to like sort of be like, okay, this is the place I want to be in. What is the time frame right now?
Time frame wise, I mean, projects starting to be developed end of 26, 27, but major wise, I would say towards 29, 30. Because this is when the whole infrastructure is coming to place. By mid to end of 2029, the mall is coming there. So then is when the whole infrastructure will be there and everything is functioning properly. And then people, of course, tend to move towards this area It's near to downtown as well as fully functional. This is when you have the most capital to gain and good ROIs.
Yeah, absolutely. And historically, the market has shown, that whenever there's a 4-5 year window in a community or a project or a area specifically, this large area or something, then this is the right time to invest into it, because 4-5 years down the lane, it will be a completely different, independent sort of a community with its independent tourism and communities and everything. So I think this is the sort of like the right time, even though the market is a little shifty, but this is the right time to look into Dubai Islands.
I mean, it's always the case that whoever waits too long will pay the premium. We saw it on the pound, we saw it in other areas. Nobody believed in it, and now you pay the
This is when people were waiting too long, right?
Yeah, when people waiting too long,
Yeah.
exactly. So we saw that many times in Dubai. So that is, of course.
So all of this sounds like, it sounds so good. And therefore some people that are, maybe watching us online then thinking, so what's the catch, of all of this? It all sounds great, but what is the catch here?
I mean, the catch itself is really, it depends on the boss, what you're buying. Now, for the projects we offer a different kind of projects. So it is important, for example, Dubai Island is more like investment point of view, it's great. But you need to have a certain budget. You cannot invest if you have only 500,000, 600,000 yen.
Sure.
Now we have also other areas where we offer, for example, something in international city side or some. This is more for someone who is looking into a lower budget. We call it luxurious affordability, I would say, because with low budget, you can also buy something with more space as well, having something which is rare.
That's the best thing about Dubai, to be very honest. Like there's a market for everybody. There's a project for everybody, and there's great amenities for people who are going into the entry level, sort of projects as well. And as well as if you're going for the premium high end, then there's no limit, frankly, because everything is planned brilliantly and everything. So where do you think, like in general, where do you think the city is moving towards now from the real estate point of view? Because we are seeing infrastructures like Etihad Rail, we're seeing infrastructures like Dubai Loop, we're seeing a lot of other things coming in as well. The harbor end is for a creep that is becoming up, probably the new downtown or something, right? Now to a certain extent. So where do you think it's like the city is moving?
I think, within the next years, of course, Dubai will still continue to grow. We'll see it the past 15, 20 years. Now, part of 2040 plan they are making, these key areas, they're trying to develop Dubai. They were planning to have a bigger population. So all of these key figures will affect the market because you plan to have more people, you're planning to make new downtown areas, for example, Creek Harbor. So that is very important. But right now, at some certain point, you would have also, I would not call it a crash, but a slowdown. So this is when, of course, it is very important how you position yourself. In every crisis and every scenario, you can always win, but you have to position yourself right. Otherwise, you can lose as well, of course. So every market.
It's like a reassessing kind of a phase, right, in the market that happens.
Definitely, yeah.
That's where, there's a market shift. That's where investors genuinely find the right opportunities as well. It's about knowing the right insights where the city is sort of moving and how to, sort of figure out your path along that. Yeah.
If there would be an advice you would want to give to the audience at home that are watching us today in terms of buying properties, investing, and real estate in general, what would it be?
Mainly, the most important thing really is who you trust and with who you're doing the transactions. So, you have a lot of agencies here, but it's really important with who you're doing it and who has the market knowledge to have you having a successful investment, as well as, of course, as an end user perspective, a greater public. So I think this is always, of course, important, but especially in that type of situation, even more.
Thank you for that. I guess that's it. We can wrap up.
Very fruitful discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Very informative. I appreciate this. Well, we can just say goodbye to our audience. Thanks for joining us, and see you guys next time. By the way, you were telling me about boxing. So,
Exactly, yeah.
have you punched anyone when it comes to a client? Has anybody frustrated you
Not yet,
enough?
otherwise I wouldn't have sitting here. But
Especially not here in Dubai.
Not here in Dubai, exactly, yeah. But sometimes you have the feeling, right?
Sometimes you're close enough.
You're close enough.
What guys are
Thanks
done?
so much.
Thank you so much.